Welcome to Master Domaining. I'm Gene Pimentel, and today we'll continue with finding the perfect buyers. This is part 3. The most important thing you can do before you begin approaching businesses to buy your domain name is to put yourself in the buyer's shoes. In this frame of mind, your thinking through the whole process will be tuned into the buyer's thought process. It is vital to get into the buyer's head in order to successfully sell your domain names. Therefore, imagine for a minute that you are a business owner wanting to buy a domain name for your business. Let's say you're in the business of installing vinyl siding. And let's say your business name is JP Vinyl Specialists, located in Lincoln, Nebraska. So you look up the domain jpvinylspecialists.com and it's available. Great, you register that domain name. But hold on, only people who already know your business name will think to type that in to go to your site. Since you want to get new customers and generate new leads online, you realize that getting a more generic domain name like lincolnsiding.com would be a great idea. After all, that is a domain name that people will type in as a keyword and as a domain name in their browser when looking for a vinyl siding company in Lincoln, Nebraska. Not only that, but when people search online for a vinyl siding company in Nebraska and see a domain like lincolnsiding.com in the search results, they're much more likely to click that link because it's exactly what they're looking for. This is where you, as a domain flipper, enters the scene. Your job is to provide businesses with domain names that can help them increase business. More companies now understand that it's wise to own several domains that are more generic and descriptive of their products and services. These domain names are then used to redirect to their main website. So let's do a couple of live examples of locating buyers for your domain names. Now please note, there are many ways to find potential buyers, but what I'm going to show you in this session is the most time-tested and proven way. It's the method you'll fall back on time after time in the event more creative ways don't pan out. You've probably guessed by now that I'm talking about searching Google and other search engines. It's very important that you keep this method front and center in your domaining toolbox. You'll use it now, and you'll still use it years from now. So let's use my example of a vinyl siding company. Let's assume you decided to pursue vinyl siding companies and you ran the keyword suggestion tools and found that the domain lincolnsiding.com was available. Before you register lincolnsiding.com, you want to take a look to see if there is an adequate pool of potential buyers. And by adequate, I mean at least 3 or more who look like they would be great prospects. Let's go to Google and see what we find. So here we are at Google, and I'm going to type in the keywords Lincoln Siding, and I'm entering those keywords within quotation marks. That tells Google to look up those keywords exactly. So let's search, and right away we can see lots of potential here for Lincoln Siding. Siding, Lincoln, Omaha, Nebraska. Now what you want to take note of is there are many ads being purchased through AdWords using those exact keywords, Lincoln Siding. So each one of these advertisers is paying money every time someone clicks on the ad, and they're advertising using those specific keywords. So by using the domain name Lincoln Siding, there are many ways to use it to attract new customers through the search engine, and these advertisers can save a lot of money by doing that. Now, if you notice, the first one is Home Depot. You probably wouldn't want to approach them because they're a large corporation that'll be hard to communicate with. There's Sears Home Services. That's another one that you probably would stay away from, unless you have connections with those companies, of course. There's Home Advisor, which is a directory online for different companies, and that's another way you can find companies is by going to directories. But several of these look like they have good potential. But right now, it's giving me some results for New York because I'm conducting a search from New York. Prospects that are searching from within Lincoln or near Lincoln will find results for Lincoln. Because what advertisers do, they only pay to display ads within the community that they're advertising for. That's why you won't see many ads here for Lincoln, Nebraska. You'll see search results for Lincoln, Nebraska because that's what we typed in, is Lincoln Siding. So let's take a look at one of these. And this one is called JL Exteriors, and they are located in Lincoln, Nebraska. Here it is right here. And they have a contact form right on the page. I do not recommend using the Contact Us form because it often goes to an employee that has no decision-making ability. As a last resort, you could use that. Let's click on the Contact Us link and see what it shows us. And as you can see, it gives an email address you can contact. It also gives phone numbers. So this is a great prospect to promote lincolnsiding.com too. Let's check page 2. And what's nice about page 2 in Google is a company listed on page 2 has more incentive to try to get themselves on page 1 of Google. And by using several domain names that feature their products like Lincoln Citing, it helps them to do that. And we'll get into all the SEO stuff in a future session. So don't worry right now about how it's going to be done. I'm just showing you right now how to locate potential buyers. Now here's one that is a paid ad that's using the very words Lincoln Citing in the ad, and their domain name is McInnes Residential Roofing. Let's take a look. And this seems to be a sort of a informational site as opposed to a regular website, but service area is Lincoln, Nebraska. So this company, currently using McInnesResidentialRoofing.com, would greatly benefit by owning a domain name like LincolnCiting.com. So this is another great prospect. And you look further down the list and you see a few directories in here. And funny enough, we do have some Lincoln, Nebraska ads on this page. So this company, NebraskaLandSiting.net, but let's check them out. Home Siting in Lincoln, Nebraska. Let's check out their contact page. And they show the hours of operation, by appointment, phone number. So they do not provide an email address. But since I think this is a prospect worth contacting, I'm going to keep this on file along with the other sites that I showed you. And the idea is to create a list of all the sites that look like potential buyers, and then we can do further research to find their contact information. There are ways to do that, and I'll show you that in an upcoming session as well. So if we look at more ads, here's one called Home Solutions of Nebraska. Let's take a look at that one. And here we go, another perfect prospect to contact. And clicking on their Contact Us page, let's scroll down here, and they do have an email address right on their page. So as you're doing this, keep track of what their email addresses are and what other information you want to take from the page, and keep track of their actual domain. Just make a list of these things in Notepad or a spreadsheet if you like. And once we're done doing this initial research, we can go and use that list to gather even more in-depth information, such as email addresses for the ones we haven't found the email address for yet. We can find the owner's names in most cases. But let's go back one more time. We're still on page 2 of Google, and here's another one called Flatwater Builders. Let's see what they're all about. So it's a residential remodeling and design company, and I'm assuming they're in Nebraska, but let's take a look, see if they show. Let's click the About button, and sure enough, established in 2005, it's a firm based in Lincoln, Nebraska. And right here, you see the gentleman's name, Tyler Koch, so you make a note of that and keep that in your file as well. This way you can speak to them one-on-one through email. So it really is as simple as that, just doing some basic research and keeping notes. And then once we have a nice list of, let's say, a dozen different contacts, sometimes it's only 3 or 4, but it's good to have a list of about a dozen different potential prospects, and that'll set you up for the next step, which we'll discuss in the next session.